Hello everyone, welcome to Everyday Essential series of Shantha Lakshmi IAS Academy. So today we will discuss the topics from 3rd and 4th of August 2025. First, we are going to discuss about the Mahanadi River. Second, about the Balfour Declaration. Third, about the Central Industrial Security Force, that is CISF. Fourth, about the International Potato Center. And as part of our mapping series, that is the African continent, yesterday or in our last previous Everyday Essential series, we have discussed about the South Africa. Now we'll discuss or we'll see the geographical mapping of South Africa's one of its boundary, that is Namibia country. So starting with our first topic, that is the Mahanadi River. So why we are discussing about this Mahanadi River? See, the two states, that is the Odisha and the Chhattisgarh, have been in disputes with regards to the sharing of water of this Mahanadi River. And regarding that, in the year 2016, Mahanadi Water Dispute Tribunal was formed. Mahanadi River Water Dispute Tribunal. So regarding that, the sessions are going on, the tribunal sessions are going on, and after a prolonged legal battle, that is from say 2016 to 2024, almost it's up to 10 or 9 years, almost 9 years. After the 9 years of battle between this Odisha and the Chhattisgarh, finally they have agreed to settle this Mahanadi River water dispute in a amicable manner. So that's why we are going to discuss about this Mahanadi River. So Maha in Sanskrit word which means great, and the Nadi means the river. That means it is the great river. And Mahanadi is the third largest river of the peninsula rivers after Godavari and the Krishna. Third largest river in the central India after Godavari and Krishna. So its origin, it takes place in the Sihava hills of Damthari district in the Chhattisgarh state. So the Mahanadi river originates in the Chhattisgarh state, and it is bounded by Central India hills on its north, Eastern Ghats on its south and east, and Michael Range on its west. Coming to the drainage basin, we have discussed it is the third largest river after Godavari and Krishna. See, its drainage basin is 1,39,681.51 square kilometers, which is approximately 4.28% of the country's total geographical area. So, the drainage basin of Mahanadi River constitutes about 4.28% of the country's total geographical area, and it is the eighth largest river in India. So, what are the states covered? Through which states this Mahanadi River flows? Three: Chhattisgarh and Odisha. It flows majorly in the Chhattisgarh and Odisha, but it also flows in a small portions of Jharkhand, Maharashtra, and Madhya Pradesh also. The total length of this Mahanadi River is 851 kilometers. Now coming to the tributaries, its left bank tributaries are Sionath, Hastio, Mand and Ip, and its right bank tributaries are Ong, Tel and the Jong. So these are the tributaries of the Mahanadi River. So there are some important industries on this basin also. So those are the iron and the steel plant at Bhilai, and the aluminium factories at Hirakud and Korba, and the paper mill near Ghattak, and the cement factory at the Sundargarh. So all these industries are situated on the basin of this Mahanadi River. We also know that there is this longest dam which is known as the Hirakud Dam, longest earthen dam having the 25.8 kilometer long and the 4.8 kilometer wide. It is also situated on this Mahanadi River. So now moving towards our second topic, that is the Balfour Declaration. So why we are discussing this Balfour Declaration now? So it's a history topic. It's of 1917, the First World War era declaration. But why we are discussing? See, first France has agreed, or France has announced that this is going to recognized the state of Palestine, right? France. After that, Canada also agreed or declared, and then comes the UK also announced, and along with Portugal also announced to declare or to recognize this Palestine as a state or a nation. So regarding this, the British Prime Minister Keir Starmer announced last week that his government would recognize the state of Palestine during the coming UN General Assembly session in the September, unless Israel agrees to a ceasefire in Gaza and allows more humanitarian aid and commits itself towards long-term peace based on the two-state formula. So this two-state formula and the British Prime Minister's statement coincides with this Balfour Declaration of the 1917. We'll see what is this Balfour Declaration. But before that, see, in the United Nations, we have 193 member states, right? So out of this 193 member states, 147 nations already recognized Palestine, this Palestine as a separate state. And in that, coming to the UNSC members, the P5 members, United Nations Security Council, in this, Russia and China also recognized. The both nations, Russia and China, recognized the Palestine as the nation or a state. Now coming to the history, that is the declaration. So Balfour Declaration means the name itself tells us that it is declared by, it is a public statement by the Sir Arthur Balfour, who was a British Foreign Secretary. Who was a British Foreign Secretary, and he issued this declaration during the World War One. That is in the period of 1914 to 1918, right? So to gain the support of this Jewish community, he said that on for this ally side, he said that he will the British government will support this Jewish community, and he issued a declaration, that is the Balfour Declaration, on 2nd November 1917. So who issued this statement or this support to whom? That is to Zionist leader, that is the Lord Lionel Walter Rothschild. He is the Zionist leader and the leader of the British Jewish community. So what is this Zionist movement mean? See, at those times, the Jews first faced persecution in Europe, mostly in Russia and the US. They faced persecution in the Russia and the US. So this Zionist movement means this was the movement who supported or who aimed at having or establishing a separate state or a dedicated place for the Jews to live peacefully. So this is the Zionist movement. So to Zionist leader, that is the Lord Lionel Walter Rothschild, Balfour has declared that yes, a public statement has issued in that it says that His Majesty's government view with favor the establishment in Palestine of a national home for the Jewish people and will use their best endeavors to facilitate the achievement of this object. So this was the promise given on 1917 November 2nd. Now after so many years, the British Prime Minister announcement coincide with this Balfour Declaration. So what is the purpose of this declaration? See, to gain the Jewish support for the Allied war effort and also to undermine the Ottoman control in the Middle East, and next fulfill the commitments made to the Zionist leaders. But this Balfour Declaration contradicted to the already signed declarations or agreements with the opposite members, that is the Arabs. So this Balfour Declaration, through this Balfour Declaration, the Arabs felt betrayed. Why? See, in the year 1916 only, the Sykes-Picot Agreement was secretly made by the Britain and the France. Britain and the France. In that, this was the secret agreement between the Britain and the France, and in that they secretly divided the Ottoman lands. And next, one more is this the Mohan Hussein correspondent was also an agreement that is 1915 to 16. This correspondent promised Arab independence, say Arab independence from the Ottomans in exchange for revolting against the Ottomans. So now, before signing this or before issuing this 1917 declaration only, what did this Britain done? The Britain did already agreements. The Britain promised some favors to the Arabs. But through this Balfour Declaration, it supported the Jewish now. So these Arabs felt betrayed. And this Balfour Declaration became the basis for the Arab-Israel conflict also, which we are seeing now after many, many decades. So this is the Balfour Declaration. If you want to know about the history of this Arab-Israel conflict, World War One, and the Balfour Declaration, you please go and revise your history notes. Now, coming to the third topic, that is the Central Industrial Security Forces. So, why we are discussing this? See, the recently Union Home Ministry approved the recruitment of around additional 58,000 personnel to the CISF. Why? Anticipating future industrial hubs in areas now affected by this left-wing extremism areas. Now, left-wing extremism areas are there now. We are operating or we are launching, the government is launching many efforts and many operations like Operation Khagar and Black Forest with the aim of Naxal Mukt Bharat Abhiyan. Naxal Mukt Bharat Abhiyan by the end of the March 2026, that is to eliminate the left-wing extremism from Bharat land. So regarding that, if these left-wing extremism areas in this, if there is no violence and no Naxalism, so those areas will become a hub for the industries. Industries. So industries are there, right? So we have to secure them also. So we are in need of this security forces, that is the Central Industrial Security Force. See, the original ceiling strength of this CISF is 2 lakh only. But on July 22nd, the ministry wrote to inform the CISF Director General that the President has sanctioned. The President had sanctioned an enhancement in the force authorized ceiling strength from 2 lakh to 2.2 lakh. So the President has sanctioned to increase the strength of the CISF from 2 lakh to 2.2 lakh. So now we have 1.62 lakh strength in the CISF. So there is an additional 58,000 vacancies there. So the ministry has approved the recruitment of additional 58,000 personnel to the CISF. So let's see about the CISF. So it is a central armed police force which works under the Ministry of Home Affairs. Its motto is the protection and the security. So initially it was founded in 1961 through CISF Act 1961. And then it was formed only through 3 battalions only. And in the year 1985, it is recognized or it is given the position of the Central Armed Forces, one of the armed forces in the Central Union. And its original mandate was to give integrated security cover to only PSUs, only public sector undertakings only. But later on, its functions have evolved and it is provided with giving the security to nuclear installations, space establishments, airports, seaports, power plants, imported government buildings, iconic heritage monuments, Delhi Metro also. The Delhi Metro is also secured by this CISF only. Also the Parliament House complex and the central jails of Jammu and Kashmir also given to this CISF only. Not only this, after the post 2008 Mumbai attack, this was also interested to give security consultancy services to some private entities also. Not only that, it will also give specialized VIP security to protected persons classified as the Z plus X, Y and Z. So CISF only will give the VIP security to the persons who are classified as the Z plus Z, X and Y. And this CISF is the only central armed police force with daily public interface. So how? It is the only central armed police force which have the daily public interface. That means by giving the security services in the Delhi metro and the iconic heritages and all other industrial establishment, it will interact with the public. But whereas with respect to other central armed police forces, that is CRPF, there is less number of public interaction or the public interface. And this CISF is the only force with a customized and the dedicated fire wing. It also has a dedicated fire wing which is wholly maintained by the CISF only. And the CISF is headed by the Indian Police Service officer with the rank of the Director General DG, and is assisted by another IPS officer with the rank of the additional DG. So these are the basic details of CISF, Central Industrial Security Force. Now moving to a fourth topic, that is the International Potato Center. So why we are discussing now? See, the Director General of this Peru-based International Potato Center has told that biofortified potatoes with added iron content will soon be available in the Indian markets. So the biofortified sweet potatoes with vitamin A added using technology developed by the CIP, that is the International Potato Center, are already available in the states like Karnataka, Assam, West Bengal and the Odisha. So, one more important context of this International Potato Center is that recently it has announced to set up its South Asia Regional Center. It's the CIP South Asia Regional Center in the Uttar Pradesh, UP state. So, let's see what is this International Potato Center. So, it was founded in the 1971 as a research for development organization. It will focus on crops like potato, sweet potato, and Andean roots and tubers. So it will research on these crops, that is the potato, sweet potato, Andean roots and tubers, and it will analyze what is going to happen and what are the problems and how we will improve the nutrition security of these crops. And it is headquartered in the Lima, Peru country. It delivers innovative science-based solutions to the problems facing by these potatoes, sweet potato, Andean roots, and the tubers. It has research presence in more than 20 countries, including Asia, Africa, and the Latin America. So it is one of the 15 specialized research centers of the CGIAR. So we'll see what is this CGIAR. CGIAR means Consultative Group for International Agricultural Research. It is also founded in 1971, and this group unites the international organizations for research on food security. This consultative group, the name itself tells us this consultative group. It is a consultative group of many international organizations which are focused on the research. So they will focus on this international agricultural research for ensuring the food security. It has 15 centers. One of them is this CIP, that is the International Potato Center. It is funded by the national governments, multilateral development agencies, funding agencies, and the private foundations also. Now moving to our final topic, that is the Namibia. So yesterday we have discussed about South Africa, which is here it is South Africa, it is bordered by Namibia, right? So today we'll discuss about this Namibia. So it is a country in the western coast of the Africa. Its capital is Windhoek, and it is bordered by, you can see here, Angola here on its northern part, and Zambia here, Botswana, and the South Africa here. And its official language is English. You can see the rivers of this Namibia: Kunen, Okavango, Kwando, Zambezi, and the Orange. So here you can see Kunen, Okavango, and the Zambezi rivers on its northern borders. And here it is the Orange River which separates the South Africa and this Namibia. Other, we also have this Omatoko River in the central part of this Namibia also. It has two deserts, that is Namibia Desert, also the Kalahari Desert, also some part of the Kalahari Desert. See here, here it is Tropic of Capricorn. So this Tropic of Capricorn cuts the half of this Namibia country. So that's all for today. Thank you.